Hi everyone, in this video we will be looking into a game between Grandmaster Maxim Rothstein and Grandmaster Norderberg Abdusattrov from round 6 of FIDE Chess Olympia 2024 between Israel and Uzbekistan. Let's jump right into the game. Maxim Rothstein, starting with the white pieces, go for 1 e4. Abdusattrov replies with e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, knight to f6, d3, bishop to e7. Rothstein goes for castling. Abdusattrov also castles. Rook to e1, d6, a3, king to h8, c3, knight to d7, d4, knight to b6, bishop to d3, bishop to g4, d5, knight to b8, knight on b to d2, a5, h3, bishop to h5, b3, f5, c4, f takes on e4, bishop takes on e4, bishop to f7, bishop to d3, knight to a6, king to c2, bishop to g8, knight to e4, knight to d7, bishop to e3, c6, knight to c3, knight on d to c5, bishop to e2, h6, king to b2, e4, knight to d4, bishop to g5, king to d2, king to f6, bishop to f1, bishop takes on e3, rook takes on e3, bishop to h7, rook on a to e1, rook on a to e8, g3, knight to c7, b4, c takes on d5, b takes on c5, d takes on c5, knight on d to b5, knight takes on b5, knight takes on d5, king to d4, king takes on a5, knight to d6, king to c3, rook to f7, king to c1, knight to f5, rook to d1, king to e5. So if you look at this position, after 37 moves, Abdusattrov is having slight advantage of minus zero point -8. So the right continuation here for Maxim Rothstein is playing the rook on e to e1 and putting more pressure on that pawn. But instead he will play f4, and this is a mistake. And now after this move, Abdusattrov is having an advantage of minus 1.8, and he continues with king to e6, rook to b3, b5, rook takes on b5, knight takes on g3, rook to b6, king to c8, king to h2, knight to f5, bishop to e2, king to d8, rook to g1, rook on e to f8, bishop to h5, rook to d7, king to b2, bishop to g8. So after 46 moves, now Abdusattrov is having an advantage of minus 2. So right continuation here for Maxim Rothstein is putting the rook to c6 and putting the pressure on that pawn. But instead, he will play bishop to g4, trying to pin the knight and skew the rook. And this is a huge mistake. And after this move, Abdusattrov is having a winning advantage of minus 4.6. And he continues with bishop takes on d5, c takes on d5, rook takes on d5. So after the trade, Abdusattrov is up a pawn and he has escaped from the pin as well. Rook to g2, knight to d4, rook to g6, king to c7, king to f2, rook takes on f4. The pawn was double attacked by the rook and the queen, and the pawn falls. Now Abdusattrov is 2 pawns up, king to g3. And here Abdusattrov will play a fancy move. Here the queen is protected by the pawn on h3, bishop on g4, queen on g3, rook on g2, and another rook on g6 as well. See, the king is surrounded by all its pieces, and Abdusattrov play a fancy brilliant move, which is rook takes on g4, giving away the rook for a bishop, and Rothstein accepts it. H takes on g4, and still engine like the position of Abdusattrov, because here comes the fancy move. Knight to f3 with check. King has to move, king moves to h3. Queen to f7. Attack on the rook. Queen to b8 with check. King to h7. Try to create a counterplay. And it was in this move, after 55 moves into the game, Maxim Rothstein has resigned the game to Norderberg Abdusattrov. And Uzbekistan went on to defeat Israel on the back of this victory as well. The reason for resignation is that rook is being attacked. If the rook moves somewhere to like d6, asking for a trade of rooks and try to equalize the material, then there is a deadly move, which is rook to e7. Now there is a double attack on the rook and mate in one threat. So there is no time for saving. If he goes ahead and try to trade off the rook, then it is mate in one. So then the game ends quickly. d6 will not work. So if he moves the rook to b6, then the moves are rook will come to d3. preparing for a discovery check. He has to bring the rook back to b1. Then queen will come to f6, threatening once again mate in 1. And queen has to come and block it. Here will come knight to g5 with check. And once king moves, the queen hangs. And after this move, there is nothing more to be done. The game is dead lost. And for saying this, Maxim Rostin has resigned after king to h7.